Hello and welcome to Gig Masters. My name is Moony Mann and I am recording my first vlog of hopefully very many. And thank you for joining me today. And I hope that you subscribe, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and visit often. I'm going to try to do weekly episodes of how to get and keep more gigs. These videos are not going to be for your rock star wannabes. These videos are for people who want to become working musicians and work and perform in their local markets. Generally weekend warriors, guys who just want to stay in their area and sleep in their own beds at night and not tour to promote a CD or anything. If you're a rock star, this is probably not going to be the video for you. Although you may pick up some helpful tips, these videos probably will not be along the lines of what rock stars would think of or implement in their careers. Again, these videos are going to be for mostly working musicians who just do small to medium-sized venues. They're not going to be selling out 50,000 seat stadiums or anything. Although I'm sure some of those guys are going to watch these videos because we're going to explore the basics of the business of the live entertainment industry. We're not going to focus on music, playing. We're not going to play a lot of music. We're going to talk about all of the other stuff because surprisingly, the talent level and the musicality and the music itself is only about half of it's only about half of the equation. A lot of it has to do with so much more. Equipment, gig etiquette, apparel, bantering. There's so much that we can cover. And I hope throughout the course of these videos, you'll pick up something that's going to help you get and keep more gigs. Okay, now you're probably saying, well, who are you? Well, again, my name is Moony Mann, and if you have been on vacation in the Southwest Florida area, you've probably seen me. I play at most of the high-end private and public venues in my area. Country clubs, there are more private golf and country clubs in my area than pretty much anywhere on the planet. And when I say high-end, I mean high-end. One of the golf and country clubs that I just performed at on a regular basis this past season just underwent a $60 million renovation. To give you an idea, and I will show you in later videos some of my venues that I play in, but right now it's just a little introduction about who I am. Again, my name is Moony Mann, and unless you have watched live music in Southwest Florida, you've probably never heard of me because I am not a recording artist, although you see some recording equipment behind me. It's very modest. I've got a little studio in my home and don't record CDs or anything. I mostly use it for recording other people. I've recorded a lot of friends. And anyway, I'm not a recording engineer, and the most complex application that I use is GarageBand. And everybody knows that's pretty intuitive, pretty simple, and pretty basic. But I focus mostly on live performances. And we will get into that in future episodes. But again, what are my credentials? Well, I have been performing in the Southwest Florida live music market for almost 30 years now. And I've played in others. I've played in LA, Houston, Austin, New Orleans, New York City, uh, Branson, Missouri is another great market, Nashville. Uh, and all of those markets have great attributes, but the attribute that I look for most in a market is income. And I am in the Naples, Bonita Springs, Marco Island area. And trust me when I tell you, this is the single best live music market with respect to earning a paycheck that I have found. Relative to other markets like, for example, LA. LA is mostly a pay-to-play market where if you want to play a venue, you may actually end up paying the venue to play there. That's very common in that market. I'm not saying that all the venues are like that in LA, but a lot of them are. And then there's venues like Nashville. Nashville, you there's a lot. By the way, there's a lot of good players in Nashville. So the competition and the volume of players in Nashville creates competition. Competition drives down prices. Basically, what I'm saying is that if you want to work a 4-hour gig for $100, and you can go to Nashville. I can't make a living doing that. To give you an idea, my typical gig is $100 an hour for a public, say like a restaurant, and then for a private, like a country club, I'm usually between $150 to as much as $350 per hour. Especially like on holidays, Christmas music, New Year's Eve is another big one, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. Any holiday, the rate goes up. But for the most part, I do, to give you an idea of the volume of work that I do in a given year, I will do approximately between 400 and 550 shows a year. And sometimes that's 3 a day. And I work as a soloist. When I'm a soloist, I generally work with acoustic guitar and vocals. And I may use a tambourine on my foot. And then I also work with a band, the Moony Mann Band. We do between, I don't know, 100 and 190 gigs a year as a band, or at least that's about an average for the past 20 years. And I've had some monster players come through my band, really great players that have come through the area. Usually they end up playing with me 1 or 2 gigs, or sometimes for 5 or 6 or 8 years. And so I've been very blessed having super talented guys in my band. So a tip is that if you're going to form a band, try to surround yourself with guys who are much better than you, because 2 things happen. Number 1, you'll play up to their level, and number 2, they'll make you look good. And I always try to find guys that are better than me. Anyway, again, why would you listen to me? Well, I don't know. Hopefully you'll see some value in these videos and these tips that I'm going to share with you. I've done, well, if you do the math, let's see, I'm going to average about 400 gigs a year, roughly, on the low side, for the past 30 years. So to give you an idea how many, and by the way, when you go to a concert, the headliner will do, what, an hour and a half? My typical gig is roughly 3 hours. And so you can imagine doing 3-hour gigs in one day. And at my age, that's another reason why I'm doing these videos, is because, well, I'm getting up there. I don't know. You can see the gray is coming on. Also, I had a bout with cancer, and between the hectic, heavy schedule, uh, taking its toll on my vocal cords, the cancer, and getting up there in age, uh, I thought I would start making videos and try to impart some of my wisdom, if you will, on up and coming guys. And that's another thing. I love helping out young talent, which brings me to kind of a disclaimer. All of the tips that I'm going to share with you throughout the video, the history of what is to come, I hope, the future videos, uh, you have to keep in mind that some level of talent is required. I can't help you there. You'll have to check out some how-to videos about how to play songs, and go to YouTube. I use YouTube a lot. If I have a question about a note or a chord or a phrase or a lyric or something, I'll use the internet, and YouTube is one of my go-to uh, platforms. But a lot of guys that'll teach you things. They'll tell you about how to get gigs. You'll see them like what I'm doing now. And the reason why I'm sitting here is because I wanted to show you what's typical. Because in the future videos, you'll see that I'm not going to be sitting in a little home studio talking. I'm going to be out on the job showing you tips. And that's what's going to separate me from those other guys. They're just sitting around in a fancy studio showing off their $1 million equipment. This will probably be the last time you see me sitting in a chair in front of some recording equipment, because that's not me. By the way, there are, in my estimation, in this industry, there are two branches in the music industry. There are the recording artists, and then there are the live music entertainers. You can be both, but you don't have to be both. For example, I don't care to travel. I want to stay home, be home by 10 o'clock at night, most nights, and we'll get into that in another video. Years ago, I used to play bars, and I'd be out until 3, 4 in the morning. But I found a really great market, and I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, sometimes I want to, but let's face it, guys, those bar gigs, they're hard, they're loud, and they generally don't pay. And I need a paycheck because I'm a 100% live all the time. I don't use backing tracks. And I am a 100% working musician. I don't have a day job. I don't sell shoes on the side. I don't sell insurance, or I don't run a piece of machinery or drive a truck or anything. I play music every day, and that is my income. Other than some investments, my income is from playing music live. So, again, why would you listen to me? Well, you can hit my website, www.moonyman.com, and you can look at my performance calendar. I don't put all of my gigs on the calendar, because if my calendar was full and a potential booker wanted to book me and they saw a full calendar, they just wouldn't call. So I do leave off a lot of the private gigs. I can't promote private gigs anyway. They don't even want you to, and there's no point because I can't invite the public to a private. So a lot of the private ones I don't even put on the website. Also, my market is very seasonal. The bulk of my season is beginning in October through the end of May. The summer months in South Florida are very lean with respect to the higher end gigs. If you want to play tiki huts, bars, and smoky pool halls, that sort of thing, and make 50 bucks or 100 bucks, then you can if you're into it. But I got to make some money, and them days are over for me. So I play large dining rooms at country clubs, high-end restaurants. I've been at a place for 15 years on Fifth Avenue in Naples, Florida. It's a high-end Italian restaurant, and I do a wide range of music. I do opera, country, classical, rock and roll like Elvis and Chuck Berry, blues, all the way from I do music from the 20s all the way through current stuff like what you would hear in Top 40 today. Although that's very rare because of the demographic of my market, which is, again, another subject for another video. Identifying your market and identifying the demographics of the market. We'll get into that at another time. This video was just for me to introduce myself and let you know that no, I've never recorded an album or a CD or anything, because I just, and not to say that I won't. I mean, that may be a future product for me, but I've been very busy performing. And when you record, that means you have to travel to promote. Not always, but that's the general format, is you go on a concert tour to promote your CD. I don't want to do that. I want to stay home. And I mean, when I was younger, yeah, that was a thing, but really I just want to stay home, sleep in my own bed, collect a paycheck, get up and go to the office and do it all over again the next day. That's what I enjoy. If you enjoy the way that, if you like the way that sounds, and you think that you would enjoy a career in the live music entertainment industry, playing just in your local market, then the following videos that I'm going to make, hopefully weekly, are something that you may be interested in. So, with that being said, I'll summarize by saying that my name is Moony Mann. I'm doing about, I don't know, roughly 400, 500 sometimes on a good year, 550 shows, sometimes 3 a day. Most days in the season, my season, 3 a day. And along the way, after a 30-year career, I've learned a few things, a few tricks. And I hope to share those with you. I hope that you subscribe, click the little bell, comment below, and we'll see how this channel evolves. And going forward, just to let you know, again, there won't be a lot of talk about how to play songs. I'm not going to show you fancy riffs. I mean, occasionally I'm going to show you some cool chords and stuff, but for the most part, we're going to talk about the business of being a live music entertainer and how to get gigs and keep them.